Hi, I'm Steve Sable, and welcome to the phenomenal Football Follies. Pro football is primarily a game of blood and thunder, but it's also a sport known for thud and blunder. In the NFL, men are supposed to have a grip on the situation. I guess that's why it's so funny when they lose touch with reality. Well, you know that old saying that starts, "To err is human"? Well, the NFL's version of that saying should be, "To err is a fact of life." Fans love it whenever their football heroes are on target, but those same fans also enjoy catching the gladiators of the gridiron off guard. And that's the secret to the success of NFL Films' Football Follies series. Now, for the next hour, we're going to combine the historical with the hysterical as we take a look back at some of our craziest and most creative comedy segments. The Follies were created back in the late 1960s after NFL Films released a picture entitled "They Call It Pro Football." This salute to the game was replete with bombastic music, purple prose, and larger-than-life images of gridiron power, pomp, and pageantry. One of our film editors wondered what it would look like to make a parody of this very serious football tribute, substituting spectacular plays with fumbles and foul-ups. The idea seemed funny, so we went ahead and searched for bloopers and wacky shots in our library. Then we put them together with the same stylized, pompous narration and music. Pro football players have this image of being intense, snarling man beasts. So you probably think that these guys wouldn't find the Follies so phenomenal. But the Football Follies not only made a hit with the public, it also scored with the hitmen of the NFL. The film was released in 1969 and really caught on when The Tonight Show called and asked permission to show clips from the Follies after Johnny Carson's monologue. Well, playing to a vast late-night TV audience, the Football Follies quickly became a household word. The original Follies is somewhat primitive by today's modern production standards, yet it's still funny more than 20 years after its release. Some of the most durable features of the Follies genre can be found in this pioneer film. An abused referee wired for sound appears in the original Follies. Slow-motion action set to classical music had its debut in the Head Cracker Suite. Receivers, runners, and coaches are all subject to ridicule, along with that most visible victim of fortune's tides, the quarterback.
Although each man is a specialist in pro football, one man stands above the rest. Stands. You're supposed to stand. Somebody. Anybody. That's the quarterback, often referred to as the two-bit back or the back only worth 2 bits. Inside the close conclaves of the huddle, the quarterback plots and directs the on-field fortunes of his teammates. Let's listen in.
Okay, you guys. Now you take the one out on the right, you take the one out on the left, and I'll have it go at the cute one in the middle. On 3, guys.
The ball in the hands of a pro quarterback is really something to see. The ball, fellows. You know, the pigskin. So that's why they call it the pigskin. Anytime you're ready, fellows. Yes, the hands of a pro are sure. Come on, pick it up. It won't bite. If the quarterback won't take the ball, the center is stuck with it. The quarterback has 2 formidable allies. One is deception. By clever faking, he can confuse even his own teammates. There is nothing quite like the easy confidence of a clever field general. quarterback's other ally is the forward pass. The forward pass. It can be a long bomb or simply a short one into the arms of a charging lineman. Or a sideline pattern to someone standing on the sideline. A master passman can turn a ball into a bolt of lightning that can strike anywhere.
The Football Follies was such a rousing success that it seemed only natural to produce a sequel. In 1971, we asked sportscaster Tom Brookshire to play straight man to a double-talking comedian named Jack Edelstein. Jack portrayed a less than brilliant football coach whose strategies for success would have doomed any team to a last-place finish. Integrating actual training camp coaching footage, those fantastic football funnies provided a mock clinic on how not to play pro football. But perhaps the most unusual feature in the funnies was a look at some actual halftime attractions that may have been more bizarre than the football bloopers. During the 1970s, pro football had become a phenomenon. And as for those phenomenal football follies, well, they continued to multiply. And this was obviously the right time to give birth to a new member of the Follies family. The son of football follies proved just as popular as its predecessors, thanks to the usual sections on fumbles, bad weather, and clumsy receivers. There was even a reference to the now thankfully forgotten CB craze that swept the nation in the mid-70s. But the real star of this film was this guy. Now, his face may not be familiar, but his voice, or I should say voices certainly are. Mel Blanc, the king of vocal pyrotechnics. And he brought along the sounds of Bugs Bunny, Sylvester the Cat, Porky Pig, Foghorn Leghorn, and others, teaming up with NFL Films to put a new spin on some familiar football clubs.
The proud foot belongs to the kicker, whose only concern when kicking is that his mates know who to block.
I got 50.
I got
I
76.
got 44.
No, I
you
got
got
him.
45?
Who's got
No,
30?
I got 45.
I got him. I got that guy.
Okay, all set. Hey, who's got 45?
I thought you had 45.
I've got 57.
Who's got 48?
I got 48.
I got 88. Time out. In kicking, the center snap is crucial. Now, pay attention. The ally of every kicker is his sure-handed holder. If something goes wrong, the kicker has some options. Pay attention, boy. There's a double trick kick run and kick real quick stick, or there's a popular strawberry short kick. Pay attention, boy. When it comes to kicking, we punters display an affinity for ballet with our fluid movements that sing of gracefulness. It's up to the punter to save his team from bad field position.
When a great athlete trying to make a heads-up play gets caught with his pants down, you've got slapstick in the finest sense of the word. But imagine what would happen if the classical touch was applied. So we placed high art on a collision course with low comedy, and the Follies series once again produced some sweet music. In Symphony, we expanded the concept to include all forms of highbrow entertainment, each suitably presented by a prim and proper British narrator. Special operatic music and lyrics were composed and recorded exclusively for this film. And two of the more memorable segments that benefited from this classical treatment were the blooper ballet and one of the all-time Follies classics, the High Mom Opera.
But life as an NFL ballet aficionado has its drawbacks, sorry to say. Because indoor productions are rare, inclement weather can be a bit inconvenient for those with thin blood, and most irritating for one in charge of wardrobe. But worst of all is footing on stage. Classical ballet takes quite a beating, I'm afraid. Nureyev would never approve. Still, the fellows jolly well give it their best under the circumstances. I think it's bloody disgraceful when some cheeky fans display their ignorance by pelting the poor lads with snowballs all the way to their dressing quarters. The coloraturas of the NFL Opera Company are preparing their voices, applying makeup and assuming their finest dramatic poses for a performance of the Zone Defense Cantata by the noted Floridian composer Shula. They take the stage before an audience which includes Italian opera critic Dante Paravati. The first act opens with plots against the evil prince Red Dog.
Slot right. Split left. Trap block. Quick pitch on two.
Later in the first act, ineptitude destroys the army's morale, and each man seeks an excuse for his own imperfections.
She's a
Now we move to Act 3, as expatriate soldiers attempt to send messages to their worried mothers.
Larga le cose felicità. Hi, Mom. Number one, number one, number one. Love. Presto bottega che la vita. Hi, Mom. Number one, number one, one. Per fortunatissimo per verità. La 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 la, la 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 la. Hi, Mom. Hi, Mom. Hi, Mom. Hi, Mom. Hi, Mama. Hi, Mom. Abro tigro, bravissimo. Abro tigro, bravissimo. Di fortuna, non mancherà. Hi, Mom. We're number one. Hi, Mom. We're number one. We're number one. We're number one. We're number one.
You know, the NFL and Hollywood have a lot in common. Football players are often referred to in terms of the kind of performances they give. The game's best athletes are known as superstars. And audiences, whether they're sitting in their local theater or in a stadium, love a good comedy. So it should come as no surprise that Hollywood filmmaking would provide the perfect theme for our 1983 Follies release. The film was even directed by an NFL Films writer with a Ph.D. from the esteemed UCLA Film School. Another interesting production note is that this marked the first and only time the famous voice of NFL films ever appeared on screen in one of our productions.
Hello there, I'm John Facenda. You are about to see a sneak preview of a Buffo Sacco big screen blockbuster soon to be released by NFL Films. This picture has everything that is except dialogue. It seems that the screenwriters have refused to write a single line until they get more money. But since the producers wanted to give you a rare opportunity to see this stirring saga before anyone else does. They've asked me to narrate the movie.
John's eloquent introduction set the stage for all kinds of film parodies, including the Hollywood disaster flick and the silent films of the 20s, served up in a football motif. And then there's that favorite of movie houses everywhere, previews of coming attractions.
Something evil is lurking out there. Something to make you feel the cold breath of horror on the back of your neck. Something to chill your spine. It is stalking the stadiums, seeking out victims to satisfy its unquenchable thirst for blood. And heaven help those who gaze at the thing that rained hell on opening day. On opening day, you'll experience creeping terror when a depraved, malignant force takes possession of Sunday's heroes and transforms them into predatory fiends. Their prey are the men who wear the black and white stripes. At first, the officials are taunted. The refs try to fight back. But these beasts crave human flesh. You screamed on Halloween. You shrieked on Friday the 13th. Now prepare to gag on opening day. This motion picture contains scenes that may be too intense for young people. Deep in the valleys of the seething, sultry old Southwest, where danger dwells, an unforgettable Western adventure is born. First, there was the Magnificent Seven. Now, there is the mediocre 11. Here is a sprawling saga of itchy trigger fingers, hot lead, and a cool, silent shootist called Butch. Relive the days when peril loomed over every horizon. See savages and settlers engage in the life and death struggle that helped bring civilization to the wild and woolly frontier. Join the stampede to see the Western epic that leaves the others in the dust. NFL Films proudly presents the picture with happy feet. It's a singing, dancing, musical extravaganza. It's Top Helmet, the tap-filled, tune-filled treat that will have you leaving the theater humming songs like these.
I got a feeling Buffalo is going to the Super Bowl. This is not the last time, but Buffalo is going to the Super Bowl.
The Steelers are so great, and they play the best of all to take our Pittsburgh to the Super Bowl.
At long last, here comes a high-stepping spectacle to bring the sound of music back into your life. Isn't it time you felt good again? Isn't it time for Top Helmet?
A few years ago, we asked our producers and editors to compile a list of their all-time favorite Follies. Then we created a best-of package that also included some rarely seen comedy segments. The Emmy Award-winning Joe and the Magic Bean made its video debut, along with a feature on the worst teams in football history. Another popular segment was our newsreel parody that satirized the metric conversion craze.
New York City. Here, Commissioner Pete Rozelle, monarch of pro football, makes a startling announcement. NFL to adopt the metric standard of weights and measures. Observers view switch as a patriotic gesture, a move endorsed by world leaders. And so, from snow-capped peaks to desert sands, in every NFL stadium, the metric system becomes the law of the land. A happy Pete Rozelle points with pride to the system's early success. But on other fronts, doubts begin to emerge. Players and fans confused. Headaches. Newly changed field surfaces adjusted to metric standards. Too large for present stadium confines. And so all stadiums are completely remodeled to conform to new regulations. Cost, no man can say. Players no longer measured in feet or pounds. Vendors mourn loss of foot-long hot dog. Sports writers say goodbye to hallowed cliches like 3 yards and a cloud of dust, and it's a game of inches. Referees now mark off penalties and infractions in centimeters. Confusion pervades. Players and coaches launch angry tirades. So the league calls in experts to educate the public. Now unruly fans threaten to revolt. Officials fear for their safety. The state militia armed and ready for the worst. And so the commissioner acts once more, calling for the one measure that will bring peace. Jubilation sweeps through the player ranks. Pandemonium sweeps the nation. The 100-yard war is home to stay.
The Best of the Football Follies also marked the first humorous compilation of NFL coaches wired for sound.
For every man who has ever coached, these next few hours of suffering and celebration are what make life worth living.
Joy to the world. Joy.
All right, everybody sit down. Now, let's everybody sit down. Stay up here with me, Louie. Back up, fellas. Back up, please, so we can see. Is there any way that we can get these people to sit down?
Hey, stay here and make it look like we know what the hell we're doing.
Watch the freeze! Watch the reverse, son!
Watch your fake, Peter! Nelson! Watch your fake! Watch your fake! Watch your pass! Watch your pass! Watch the play action pass! Watch your fake! Pass! Screen! Flea flicker! Watch your dog!
Watch everything!
I formation. I formation. Quick 141. I formation, quick 141.
94. Fullback banana, hot right.
Brown left Y nasty, 16 lead pass, post flag with to Gloucester. Brown left Y nasty.
We might as well run it. Yep. Let's run the Bummerooski. Huh? Run the Bummerooski. Bummerooski. Tight line.
What we got to run, I'm telling you, it sounds crazy, is an 888. Deep down the middle and hope we get a pass interference, don't you think?
Would you please ask these people to stand back?
Everybody.
Douglas! Douglas!
Get up
Beckman,
there,
Beckman, Beckman! No, not Jimbo, Beckman! Beckman! Get up there and make him kick it again. Or maybe it's on us. Maybe it's on us.
Boy, the gears in that guy's mind didn't mesh for a long time, I'll tell you that.
Get him out of there because he has no hands.
Boy, you know on that 39 you did a poor job. Daggone it, you can't do that. Hell, you're in your home state.
No good at all. We want that up straight in the air. What the hell? We're getting anybody can kick it out of bounds.
I don't want you up there running around faking blitzes and getting out of position. You understand?
Yes, sir.
You line up where you're supposed to line up. None of that Harry High School, fake this. Do what we're told.
Yeah, you got to tell these guys what to do every minute of the day.
This is unbelievable. If I don't get them down, I will cut them, baby, so they'll be down. Hey, line, we're going to have to start doing something now. Going to have to start doing something. The defense is not going to do it, so Red start.
What the hell's the matter with you guys? Be alert! Come on, defense! Stop somebody once!
I'll guarantee you next week you'll stay back, because every guy up here is going to cost $500.
You all right, Butch? Coach! Butch, are you okay? Butch! Coach! Drop! Drop, dummy! Drop! My daughter should do better! My daughter should... You're chicken...
And the next time, everybody is sitting on a bench or out on every to Green Bay.
I knew we weren't ready to play football today. I knew we weren't ready to play football.
Hey, pick up right there! Pick up! You picked him up! Oh, he pulled his arm! Oh, he pulled his arm! He pulled him!
Do you see the offensive tackle? He literally tackled the strong safety. He tackled him, for crying out loud. Open your eyes! I can't believe that.
Mr. Official, let me ask you something. How can 6 of you miss a play like that, huh? All 6 of you. The ball jumped out of there as soon as we made contact, and nobody...
I thought you were talking about you being on the field.
No. What?
Hey, can I tell you one thing? That's 3 holding penalties on 1 football team in a quarter and a half. That ain't funny.
First down by 2 feet. 2 feet. He's got it easy.
I can't see. Oh, the signal's way over here. He's got it by 2 feet.
You did good. You marked it good.
Stretch it out.
No, he's all right.
First down.
That's good. You marked it good. You did a hell of a job. Nice going. Great job. You marked it good.
See how your eyes
A
work?
foot.
You said 2 feet.
Well, what's the difference between you?
You said 2 feet.
8 inches.
Went to college with that official. I went to college with her. Hey, Airman! Hey, you over-officious jerk!
If they substitute people in, they've got to stay in. They cannot go back out. They've got to be in for 1 play. Even I know that.
Now, you can't do that. If you do it, I'm telling you, you're going to have more hell over it than a little bit.
Oh, there's a clip! Damn, there's a clip! What the hell's wrong with you, 76? Call a clip! You guys are horse out there!
I'll tell you, you think that you've given these a little bit of an advantage now? How about turning it around?
Oh, that is a crack!
They're killing me, Whitey. They're killing me.
If you think for 1 damn minute I'm going to take a loss standing down, you just have another thought coming.
Mouth at 20, you couldn't cover me.
Come on, baby. One time, baby. One time.
Come on, boy! Take it! Come on, boy! Take it! Come on, turn the car!
Jeremiah was a bullfrog.
By the late 1980s, the Follies had become so phenomenal that no matter what TV channel you turned to, it seemed that some guy in shoulder pads and cleats was fumbling and bumbling his way into your living room. In fact, the idea of a TV channel that programmed nothing but football foul-ups inspired our next Follies film. The theme of the project centered around television parodies, including spoofs of cop shows, kiddie programs, sci-fi flicks, home shoppers clubs, even commercials and local news. To play the many roles needed for these takeoffs, we enlisted the aid of one of the great comic masters, Jonathan Winters. And Winters portrayed more than 20 different parts, using his offbeat talents to bring a variety of sketches to life. The result was the NFL TV Follies, a film that imagines what it would be like to have football programming on a television station 24 hours a day.
This is the Football Channel. Time to step back into history with Gridiron Greats.
Welcome to Gridiron Greats. I'm Cleet Spikes. Our guest is that great star from the 50s, Clarence Bone Crusher Basinski. Nice to have you here.
Thanks, Cleet, and it's nice to be here.
Tell us, Bone Crusher, what was your greatest moment in football?
Well, I guess one of the most outstanding things, Cleet, was I was playing against Cleveland. It was 1951, and I caught the ball. I wasn't supposed to, but I caught it anyway. I come out the end zone, and I run from the 5 to the 10, to the 15, to 20, 50, 30, then 40, 40, and got down into their territory and went on into their end zone and realized that I'd run the wrong way.
That was really great. And now let's hear about your contemporaries of the 50s and what they had to say.
Yeah, that could be fun.
I remember this guy, Bone Crusher. He was always in our training room. He was always injured. It was his bones that were being crushed.
I remember watching TV when Bone Crusher played. And they used to zoom in on his face, and he'd look right at the camera, and he'd smile. And all those black teeth with the cavities just sat there. And I thought to myself, what type of a man plays this game of football? And do I really ever want to get hit by anything like that?
Bone Crusher Basinski. He was the guy that had a hard time chewing gum and walking down the street at the same time. And the people he hit, that was like hitting, he couldn't hurt his grandmother if he hit him.
Bone Crusher. This guy's head was as hard as that rock. We used to call him Bonehead. He was probably the dumbest guy I ever met.
He couldn't block, he couldn't kick, he couldn't run. He was horrible. He was really a horse football player. And they wasted a #1 draft pick on him. All I can say to you, Clay, them guys have lied. They've told heavy lies. And it's just made a fool out of me. And I will not stand for it. I'm really teed off.
Over the past 20 years, the once primitive game of pro football has evolved into a highly sophisticated sport. Pro football follies, however, remain unsophisticated. The basic appeal of a good old-fashioned screw-up, even in a newfangled high-tech game, was the rationale for the super-duper follies. The super-duper football follies is state-of-the-art in its glossy presentation, but otherwise, it's not much different from the 1969 original. Super Duper saw a return to clearly defined segments on quarterback and kicking blunders, sideline collisions, racked up referees, and bewildered coaches. We even dug up old follies from previous decades that had never been seen before.
Welcome to an NFL huddle. If a team screws up here, they'll wind up looking like a bunch of dumb bunnies.
Mel Blanc returned with his voice characterizations in another segment, one of Mel's final efforts before he passed away. We even asked players around the league how they felt about being in a Follies film. The result? A return to the kind of gridiron goofs that have always made the football Follies.
Players all over the league are no longer content simply to make a spectacular touchdown. When the scoring's done, bring on the fun. This, the emphatic promise of football entertainers everywhere. The traditional ball in the stands remains popular. A simple bow to the gallery is often sufficient for the more modest athlete. Some end zone celebrations are, frankly, unplanned events. And spiking rituals exist even for those who don't make the catch.
Oh, boy.
But even a picture-perfect reception does not guarantee a picture-perfect spike. Some, obviously, still need practice, but not these fellows, the twinkle-toed champions of end zone choreography.
But of all the post-touchdown celebrations, this may be the one fans like best.
Taking a snap from the center, you know, it's supposed to be the easiest thing to do. Sometimes you take it for granted.
It doesn't take very much to make it go wrong, and you don't have to be off by much to botch a center snap. People think it's an easy thing, and it should be something that's very consistent.
"95 out of 100 times when there's a mistake, it's the quarterback's mistake. The quarterback sees a blitz coming and wants to get out a half second early, and instead of hitting him in the palm, the ball hits him on the end of the fingers. Quarterbacks forget the snap count. They get up there and think it's on 3 when in reality, and they called it on 2.
But there's times when you get up there and you see people walking around and you're 155, 155, hut, the guy snapped the ball and you're like, wow, man, I forgot the snap count.
The center has snapped that ball 10 million times. It's relatively simple. It's just an upward motion, and you hit yourself in the butt with the ball. That's tough to screw up. When the mistake is made, by and large, it's made by the quarterback.
77! Ball!
But the centers always blame the quarterbacks, and the quarterbacks always blame the centers.
Oh, it's always the center's fault when that happens. When people at home should know that. Anytime that the ball is fumbled, it's always the center's fault.
Regardless of whose fault, the center is usually blamed. We have it, it's 90-10. 90% the center's fault, 10% the quarterbacks.
In the shotgun, it's a lot more obvious when there's an errant snap. I mean, if you snap it low on the ground or you snap it over his head, it's obvious. I've snapped him sometimes when we've missed snap counts and it's hit him in the stomach, but he was looking the other way. And other times I've hit him right in the hand and he's dropped it. So it's a lot more obvious in the shotgun who screwed up than it is when the quarterback's underneath the center.
Shotgun again. Kramer pushes the snap. Manley's back there, grabs it in the air, and he's gone. Touchdown, Washington Redskins.
Well, we were playing Dallas in a crucial game last year. We had the ball down in around the 20-yard line. We take it in for a touchdown score. We're going to go into the playoffs. We snap it over his head. I'd say that affected that game. Earlier in the year, we were playing against San Diego, and we snapped the ball at a sort of a right angle. I don't know how that happened.
One year we're doing a pass protection drill during training camp, and I wasn't participating for whatever reason. And we always would snap it. We'd have a guy there playing quarterback. Well, I'm absent-mindedly snapping it over and over and over. Well, all of a sudden, Hannafin wanted to move into the shotgun formation, and I just wasn't paying any attention at all. So I'm leaned over the football, and Hannafin goes, hut, hut! And on that second hut, I snapped the football, but I forgot I didn't have a quarterback. And let me tell you something. When you rocket that ball up into your groin, and there ain't nobody there with his hands to catch it, it's a disastrous set of events. Go! Hut, hut, boom! I go right over, and I'm on the ground with my knees on my chest for 5 minutes. And I didn't talk in the same voice for a week.
Unlike most department stores, there is no place to return bad kick returns. And that's a darn shame.
Oh, my gosh.
Some of them start out okay, but then disaster strikes.
Whoa!
And some returners might be better off finding another line of work.
Whoa, Nelly!
Drop kicks sure seem to attract a crowd. And sometimes these hotshot speed boys simply have to learn when to say when.
Stop!
You know, the best approach of all might just come from this fellow.
Hey, thanks, buddy.
Pro football is a game that appeals to a wide range of human reactions, including laughter. And a sport that enables us to laugh is something to be cherished. For, as the late comedian Fred Allen once said, the world belongs to those who can laugh at it. I've enjoyed showing you the world of the phenomenal football Follies. This is Steve Sable saying thanks for allowing me to drop in on you.